finger right here.
All right, guys. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We have a class here in South Florida, 18 holdings, a variety of service weapons, weapons-mounted lights, RDSs, and holsters. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna check these holsters, and we're gonna see if we can discharge a gun inside the holster. Jared Rustin, friends, colleague. Jared and I knew each other before he was associated with Safariland. Jared actually came down here and brought a bunch of Safariland stuff, showing kind of where their current holster iterations are and what these holsters do to manage this issue. Okay, but the first thing we'll do is we're going to check. And I'm glad, you know, at least there's some responsiveness by the industry. Safariland's the first holster manufacturer to send a rep out here, so we know they're listening, and I think that's an awesome thing. So, Jared, let's take a look here. What do you have, sir?
I have a Blackhawk Block 19.
Blackhawk Block 19. Let's go ahead and take the gun out and lock the slide to the lid. All right, visually and physically confirm that it's not loaded. Go ahead and put the gun back. And that's how the gun locks in. Jared, let's take a look here. Let's try a girl finger. See if you can get your girl finger in there. Okay. Okay, go ahead and remove the hatch. It's visually and physically confirmed. Good to go. All right, run the slide forward and secure all the retention devices. Chelsea, see if you can get a finger in there. Okay, that's a what?
Glock 47.
Glock 47, 6360 with what?
It's a Glock 47 with a 6360 starting holster.
And what kind of light?
Streamlight TLR1 HL.
TLR1 HL. Okay.
6360 RDS.
And this is important too. So, you know, you can, a lot of times you'll look and you'll see it looks okay from that side, but actually the bigger hole is right there. So if you look at this from the standpoint of like a rear gun grab, and the instances that we've documented, I think 4 involved women. So that's one reason I'm using Chelsea, the smaller fingers and everything. But there are 4 cases that I have documented where it's women in fights and custody events and discharge guns and holsters. So it's smaller fingers. A magazine in there. Let the slide go forward. Surefire.
Surefire.
All right, Chelsea, can you get your digits in there? Yeah. Okay. 6360.
Yeah. So
Chelsea, you want to come over here? Go ahead and remove that.
Right.
Yeah. Lock and clear.
that's actually a 7360, but
7360, Jared.
7360.
Okay. All right, Chelsea. Let's take a look and see if there's a hole you can get into. Ooh. Okay. 6390. Go ahead and take the gun out. Okay. Let the go again. That's a big fucking, yeah, it's a small light, and it's a huge, huge hole. What do you got?
Glock 45 with an aim-point acro and like a TLR7 and a 6360 RDS.
Okay. Chelsea, right there. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't look nearly. Yeah, that gap right here is much smaller. Yeah, it's considerably smaller. You're gonna have a really hard time. Some tiny fingers make it in there.
It's a TLR7, so it's the smaller. Yeah. The smaller makes it so you don't have to widen that gap. And then with a Glock, it fills the like when you get down to the guys with the 2011, you're going to see that the trigger guard's thinner, so you might be able to get your finger in there. You know what I mean? So it's like the Glock keeps the fatter the trigger guard, the easier the.
Totally. You better be careful with the light you're choosing.
Yeah.
It's the exact same setup.
Exact same setup. Okay, let's take a look at yours. Okay. Yeah, I don't see it. Interesting. What do you got here? Staccato? So 6390 or yes, 60. Let's go ahead and move it. Visual and physical. So we can get in there.
So
Of
the
course.
safety.
Yeah. So we
Not
have.
safety, but like you'll see the gap much larger on the staccatos just because the trigger guard is like half as thick.
Chelsea, you know how 1911 works?
No.
Okay. So there's that safety right there. That's the
Okay.
first safety. And the grip safety also has to be disengaged. So this actually buys time. There's no doubt. I mean, that's a well-known thing with 1911s as far as suspects getting these. How you make this go bang is actually in that perspective. Fair level of safety, but yes, what you would have to do to get your finger in there is you'd have to get on the trigger. That's got to get disengaged, and then the grip safety has to be activated to press the trigger. So press the trigger now. Yeah, so that's how that works. But there are two things here that happen. I like that.
It's a 34 with the
Actually, let's take a look, guys. Watch.
Like I can touch the trigger, but I can't grip it.
Okay, that's a 6390, Jared.
6360 with a Glock 45 with a TLR7. So it's a small light. Small light, so it's shrinking back down.
Who knew this was an issue? Before yesterday, who knew this was an issue? All right, so good. 18 cops, raise your hands up. 18 cops. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 guys. And how did you get that? How did you receive this information? How did you guys know it was an issue?
Your videos.
Do what?
Your videos.
My videos, okay? And how did you?
Years ago when flashlights first started coming on.
Years ago when flashlights started to come through, how else did you guys know?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
From other people and your contacts.
So it's interesting. This is nothing new. This has been happening. I have recorded instances going back to 2013. Okay, and the internet response to this has been interesting. So I'm putting this information out there because we feel it's important. Because right now in a room with 18 working cops, 4 people knew this is an issue. Okay, the internet response laws just now figuring this out. Okay, something ironic and sarcastic like that, which is I guess it just makes them feel informed. You know. That they knew and we were coming late to the party. But it's interesting that in a room with 18 working professionals, most people didn't know this. So regardless of whether the issue has been known or not, it hasn't been known widely, and it's not common knowledge. If knowledge is not common, it's not useful. We can't address this issue industry-wide. That's the first one. The second issue is the response by the internet of, hey man, that's just part of carrying a weapons-mounted light in 2024. I'm going to tell you right now, I categorically fucking reject that. Okay? The holster industry, all of them must do better. Now, Storyland apparently is. I'm going to turn it over to Jared.
If you've been around a long time, you've probably heard about it because it is an issue. And just know this Fireland is listening. And we all listen. Everyone who works there carry a gun for pretty much a living, and it is what we do. So again, it's not going to rip off. It will keep your gun there. Just keep people's fingers out of it. Snap little kids' fingers, they're easy. The small light is what shrinks that gap. And then you could also go to like a vault, a Glock 45 with a TLR7. Is that you?
Yep. Jared, this is what we call the vault, yes?
Yes, this is the vault. So, lock it in. Now you're not getting your finger in there.
No.
The walls of the holster are much thicker. And not only does it close the gap a little bit, the problem is in a fight, you can bend plastic. So like if someone gets leverage on the back of your gun, they can actually twist it to create that gap. The vault has bolts that run through it. You're not getting it. So if like that is a major concern of yours, then go with a vault, and you can see how much tighter that is. So that did fix that. Even with the solus that comes with it, like for like detectives, it still has the same tight gap. So, and again, it's the TLR 7. Who has like a
You got the
block with
mod
a
light?
X300 or
Mod light.
or mod light. There we go. So this will be one for the larger Glock with a mod light on it. You still have gap, but I can't get my finger in there. And you still have the same thickness of walls, so you're not going to be able to like really to create a gap. See if you can get your finger in that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Does it
So
lift
it
that
defeats
off?
girl fingers.
It defeats girl fingers. And it's in, so, I mean, it's locked. So, I mean, if that is a true concern of yours, you know, the vault's kind of the way to go. Or to just really limit it, the 6390 is a great holster. Like, we have the same one here for a small light, and it's, again, it's just going to tighten it up. Some people that they don't know, this tension screw on the back of your holster will tighten. So if your gun is sloppy in your holster, that can also create a gap by it rocking forward. So use your tension screw to tension it up and to get it in there. But again, you know, we always say that, you know, the primary person responsible for this gun being in this holster is you, right? So Safari Lane's gonna keep the gun on your body and it's gonna remain in the holster. It's your job to keep those fingers out of it. You know what I mean? And just understanding that if it's a big light, there's going to be a gap right now. I think every probably manufacturer is working on some way to stop that gap. I think we have some pretty good ways coming out, launching soon that will work it. So, I mean, that's so, but I wanted to come out here, give you guys holsters, let you roll around with them, let Craig take these, beat them up, and see if he can destroy the vault, because we haven't found anybody who can yet.
Okay. Okay. So, number one, here's what we're asking you to do. Raise awareness on this. So it may mean that you go to your chief, you go to your training section, and you guys take a look at this. Personally, when I first posted a video about this on my Instagram 3 weeks ago, something like that, almost a month ago, we're a tiny little mom and pop agency in South Dakota that broke. You know, we go up there and do training for them, and they all have new Black Hawk holsters. And we looked at it and it's like, that's a big ass gap in there. And they were basically like, yeah, we thought that too. And we started trying, and every single one we cut around on. And I thought it was, I heard anecdotally of like keys and things like that getting into holster bodies and there were obstructions that caused discharges, but I hadn't really thought of it as something that was widespread. So when I posted the video from South Dakota, the spirit that I posted the video in was, hey, be aware, this is something that can happen. And then when you read that thread on IG, I think there were like 170 responses. All of a sudden, it became the holster me too. Hey, that happened here, that happened here, that happened in neighboring agencies. So I started looking, and I spent 24 hours chasing all those responses down, DMs, PMs, emails. In 24 hours, I recorded 24 instances. So after doing that research, here's what I had to here's how I had to reframe the information. I had to reframe this from this can happen to this is happening. And I believe it's happening. I believe it's happening way more than these 24. I told Jared this, and I can't actually prove this. I suspect that guns are getting discharged in holsters like this far more than guns being torn out of holsters or holsters being torn off belts. Okay? So, back to it again. Should we accept the gap? Maybe-ish, maybe a little bit. I think what we need to do is we need to bring this to the holster manufacturers, make them aware of it, and have them working towards minimizing the gap. I think if you have a legacy holster that you can just slip your finger in there and press the trigger with ease, you might want to consider upgrading to one of the current iterations that do somewhat minimize the gap. I think you should also look at holster manufacturers who are responsive, okay, to this kind of feedback, which obviously Safari Lane is, because Jared's out here standing tall, drove 5 hours, okay, or wherever it was in Jacksonville, okay, come out here, bring us holsters and be seen with us on this problem, okay. raise awareness, keep it out there, okay? And that's how you're actually going to make change. Somebody on YouTube, they said never read comments on YouTube because they're so fucking toxic and douchey. Somebody said, "Lol's most attention-seeking post ever," okay? And I was like, no, that's a shitty. I don't think I know that fucking dude would say that in my face, you know. However, he's right. We are seeking attention. I'm gonna keep seeking fucking attention. I'm gonna keep running my mouth. And I'm gonna keep making videos about this until shit gets better. And you should do the same. Okay.